lack folic acid. So this man knows what he's talking about. And folks, apologize, and we're kind of like going over the hour now. We're going to record this, so it'll be available for you later on. The human body heals itself, and proper nutrition provides the resources needed to accomplish that task. The key is proper nutrition. So we must, if our body is suffering, it means that the body is not healing itself. If it's not healing itself, it must mean that it is not receiving the proper nutrition. It doesn't matter what you're eating or how balanced your diet, how balanced you think your diet is. If your body is still suffering, then it means that somewhere along the way you are missing or lacking a specific nutrition. And the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition also says that. It says 99% of us are not even getting the daily nutrition they need from food. So you might be one of the privileged few. I doubt it. The focus is with the endocrine system, and it's all about balance. And you see this guy doing a tightrope thing on a bicycle. Crazy. Another guy here on a bicycle. Balance is the key. Excuse me. Balance is the key. If we can get things in the right balance, whether it's with the hormones. I know that there's a big thing about the estrogen, progesterone balance. They found out in many cases, if it's out of whack, it can result in heart disease, osteoporosis, especially in the women, and hypertension. That's the main nutrients needed for optimal health. Real quick, essential vitamins and minerals. Vitamin E is especially important for the heart. Especially important for the heart. It's an antioxidant, but does something else for the heart. The mineral that is especially important for the heart and also works in conjunction with vitamin E is actually a mineral called selenium. Selenium. If all you give is vitamin E to a patient and you do not add a good bioavailable supplement of selenium, that vitamin E will not work. And in some cases, it has given vitamin E a bad rap. Some studies actually claim, although I doubt the validity of those studies, claim that vitamin E can be harmful. Like I said, I doubt it. Essential amino acids, which serve as the building blocks for all proteins. What is that essential amino acids? Well, actually, it's not just essential amino acids. There are some non-essential amino acids that are very, very important specifically for the cardiovascular system. And what comes to mind now is arginine. Let's look at that real quick. Arginine, like Dr. Harry, again, there's an MP3 available for that. And he gave, it's amazing the research that is out there on this singular molecule and the amount of things that it does. I was really blown away by what it can do when it is converted to the substance called nitric oxide. We found out that it actually helps to unclog blood vessels. It actually helps to clean up plaque. And I'm not sure I should say this, but I had a personal experience with this. Sherry, remember you sent me some of the arginine. Well, I know I told you about this a while before, but I mean, ever since I've been young, I've had this once in a while, and I mean, it never really bothered me, but I would have this once in a while, have this tightness in my chest, usually in the left side, and obviously that's where the heart is. And I used to be bothered about it for a while. It would come and go, and sometimes when I felt stressed, it would be there. Another thing I noticed a few months ago was that when I woke up in the morning, I would have pain at the soles of my feet. Whenever I was so tender when I walked around. When I started using this, I mean, folks, don't forget, I use all kinds of supplements. I know to use supplements, even with those I wasn't getting the answers, but this was concerned. And I have to tell you now that the past 1 month or so, that tightness or that ache I felt, like I said, I don't think it's anything serious, but I just didn't feel that thing again. So, yeah. There may be some truth to this thing. I mean, it tastes really yucky. I guess that's what sent it to me in the first place. But yes, it does play a role in helping. Again, the word is perfusion, cellular perfusion. If you can get enough blood flowing to the parts of your body, that will help no matter what the condition is. The problem with diabetic foot, for instance, people with diabetes and they sometimes have amputated, is because the blood flow to their limbs, to their feet, to their toes was systematically cut off over a period of time until the cells distal to that occlusion or blockade were not getting the nutrients, were not getting the oxygen, were not getting the food that they needed, and so they died. And the key is occlusion or blockade. And so we have to find a way to, and so again, I'm putting a plug for this thing. I'm not even in the company, folks. So I am not in the company. So I'm not an associate, but it does help out. Fatty acids, we mentioned inflammation. Omega-3s are especially important for fatty acid for inflammation. Inflammation, like we said, is one of the key things when it comes to heart disease and cardiovascular problems. Antioxidants, mentioned this in Alzheimer's disease and really everywhere in your body. They found out that over 70% of all diseases are actually start off with free radical damage, and we also have an MP3 class on that. And really, the connection between free radical damage and inflammation is that free radical damage is an injury that can result in inflammation, and so the cascade continues. So it's very, very important. Remember, even the cells in the arteries and veins, the cells that make up those arteries and veins, those muscles, those walls, the lining, everything is made up of cells. So if there is free radical damage to those cells in the arteries and veins, well, it's going to predispose you to damage and inflammation and plaque formation and white blood cell accumulation and platelet accumulation and cholesterol accumulation and, well, you know the rest.
All kinds of bad stuff.
All kinds of bad stuff, right. Fiber is very important for a number of reasons. It's very, very important because it keeps your digestive tract healthy. Glyconutrients, we cannot and will not, overemphasize the importance of these glyconutrients. Let me give you a quick example. If there's damage to the lining in your blood vessel, it is the immune system, specifically the macrophage in the immune system, that detects that problem. And what does the macrophage do? It detects the problem and it sends impulses to either the bone marrow or to a stem cell center. Yes, our body produces stem cells in the bone marrow and in other parts of the body. It sends that impulse and it says, send replacements to come and repair or take care of this injury in the lining of this blood vessel before something bad happens. And so it sends that impulse, and so the bone marrow jumpstarts, kicks up, and it begins to churn out stem cells, which eventually will come and replace that the crack or the damage or repair the damage. Mm-hmm. It has been found out that this process can be accelerated to up to about 8 times the normal process if there's damage. But again, it starts with the macrophage, and the way the macrophage sends that impulse to the bone marrow is through it's through sugars, it's through proteins. But remember, like we said, whatever information is being received through those sense organs of the cell called glycoproteins or glycolipids. It just makes sense that you have enough of those in the body. Again, we're not getting enough in our diet. Phytochemicals could include anti-inflammatories, could include antioxidants, and a host of other things that are very, very important, primarily for detoxification and to protect the body against damage. Phytosterols kind of form the building blocks that I spoke about. Phytosterols form the building blocks for things like for hormones like estrogen, progesterone, aldosterone, and other hormones, and which are extremely important for blood pressure regulation. Again, folks, the answer, what you can do, lies really on the left side. You leave the doctor to do what he does best when it comes to disease. You take care of your body, and that's why we have this quote up here, let your doctor take care of your disease. You must take care of your health. Okay, I think that kind of wraps it up. Do you have any questions for this?
Yeah, yes, we do have a few questions. Somebody typed in, was wondering if when you feel lightheaded, is that a sign that blood is not reaching your brain properly?
That is a good sign, yes. That is a good sign. It could also